the forbidden book God removed from the Bible. In the shadows of ancient scripture lies a forbidden book, the Book of Enoch. Why was it removed from the Bible? What terrifying secrets did it hide? Enoch, the great-grandfather of Noah, walked with God and was taken to heaven without tasting death. There he witnessed the unthinkable. 200 mighty angels, called the Watchers, descended to earth. Led by Azazel and Semjaza, they lusted after human women, took them as wives, and fathered monstrous giants, the Nephilim. These hybrids ravaged the world, devouring everything in sight. The Watchers taught humanity forbidden knowledge, warfare, sorcery, astrology, and dark enchantments that corrupted the soul. God raged at this rebellion. He bound the Watchers in chains beneath the earth until Judgment Day, and sent the great flood to cleanse the Nephilim's evil. The Book of Enoch reveals it all, secrets too dangerous for the canon. Was it hidden to protect us or to conceal the truth?
You know, every culture on earth has a history of stories about giants and strange things on earth. That's strange enough on its own. But lately, over the last years, they keep coming up with evidence from bones to footprints to all kinds of different things that show that maybe giants really did exist. And that's what this video is about. You know, back in the day, I used to teach Greek mythology in high school, a few years ago, a couple anyway. And it seems like the older I get, the more inquisitive I get. I'm thinking maybe a lot of that mythology is based on truth. Possible. Anyway, you're going to see some clips today that might have you thinking twice. So stick around, grab a cup of coffee, and let's check it out. See what we got. All right?
You were told giants were a myth, a story for children, nothing more. But in the late 1800s, the ground in America said otherwise. Farmers digging mounds uncovered skeletons, some 10, even 12 feet tall. The New York Times reported them. Smithsonian agents were called in, and yet every skeleton vanished. Today, the Smithsonian denies it ever happened, but the old clippings remain. From Wisconsin to Ohio, from Nevada caves to the Mississippi Valley, the bones appeared, were measured, then quietly erased. And here's the part they never tell you. Almost all of these skeletons were found inside ancient mounds, the same mounds aligned with stars, older than the tribes who live there now. If the bones were myth, why erase them? Because if giants once walked America, then the legends weren't stories. They were memory, and memory is dangerous.
You know, I don't know why it is, but it seems to me that they hold stuff from us, right? Almost like we can't handle reality.
You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers?
I want the truth!
You can't handle the truth!
A massive footprint-like impression has been uncovered in Bulgaria's Pirin Mountains, sparking mind-blowing thoughts about our past. Was this a sign that giants roamed the earth, or is there another explanation? Drawn to mystery, our minds race with possibilities. It's as if the universe is nudging us to rethink our history, to uncover secrets hidden in the earth. The more we discover, the more we realize how little we know. Our understanding of the world is about to be turned upside down by these discoveries.
You know, I'm a Christian. I read the Bible. But even if you're not spiritually inclined, it seems like with a book that's over 3,000 years old, that we can at least look at it as far as historical significance. I mean, after all, we read history books in school, a lot less aged than that. So even if you don't believe in the Bible, or if you're not a Christian, or if you're not religious, I think there's at least some historical facts that are in there. Don't you think? Maybe? Check this out.
This is proof biblical giants exist. Archaeologists have found colossal footprints, tools, and skeletal remains that no normal human could ever use. And ancient records already explained why. Genesis calls them the Nephilim, beings born from the union of angels and humans. The Book of Enoch, the Dead Sea Scrolls, and cultures across the world all describe the same towering hybrids. These weren't legends. They were real beings that once walked the earth.
Looking at the Bible, in the very first book, Genesis, chapter 6, it states there were giants in those days and afterwards. And kind of leaves it at that. It goes on a little bit further than that. And then in Numbers, basically, Moses sent off the tribes to check out the lands and scope them out, because they're looking for places to settle. And they came back with a report that said, we were the size of grasshoppers to these things. Now, sure, that could be exaggerated, but even exaggerated, I mean, we're the size of grasshoppers? Check out this.
First up, Genesis 6, verse 1-4. As people started to multiply, some heavenly beings, called the sons of God, noticed human women and found them attractive. They had kids together, and these kids were called Nephilim. These Nephilim were known as giants, or mighty warriors from ancient times. Now, in Numbers 13, verse 32-33, Moses sent spies to check out the land of Canaan. The spies came back with some crazy reports. They said, the people there are huge. We even saw the Nephilim. They felt like grasshoppers next to these giants, the descendants of Enoch who were linked to the Nephilim. So both Genesis and Numbers talk about these giant, mighty figures called Nephilim. It's a mysterious and fascinating part of the Bible that has intrigued people for years.
The Book of Enoch, which was part of the Dead Sea Scrolls, over 3,000 years old, it's not part of the official Bible canon, but I'm sure there's some historical facts involved in it, being that old. Anyway, the Book of Enoch claimed that giants were over 450 feet tall. 450 feet. Now, maybe that's total exaggeration. I mean, I get that. People exaggerate stuff. But let's just say that 90% of it is exaggerated, and only 10% is true. That would put these things at 45 feet tall. That's enough for me to run and change my drawers. I don't need it to be 450 feet, 45 feet tall. Can you imagine that? No thanks. Anyway, let's look at some more stuff here.
In 1931, skeletons from 8.5 to 10 feet long were found in the Humboldt Lake bed in California. And in 1932, Ellis Wright found human tracks in the gypsum rock at White Sands, New Mexico. His discovery was later backed up by Fred Arthur, supervisor of the Lincoln National Park, and others who reported that each footprint was 22 inches long and from 8 to 10 inches wide. They were certain the prints were human in origin due to the outline of the perfect prints coupled with a readily apparent instep. During World War II, author Ivan T. Sanderson tells of how his crew was bulldozing through sedimentary rock when it stumbled across what appeared to be a graveyard. In it were crania that measured from 22 to 24 inches from base to crown, nearly 3 times as large as an adult human skull. Had the creatures to whom these skulls belonged been properly proportioned, they undoubtedly would have been at least 12 feet tall or taller. In 1947, a local newspaper reported the discovery of 9-foot-tall skeletons by amateur archaeologists working in Death Valley. The archaeologists involved also claimed to have found what appeared to be the bones of tigers and dinosaurs with the human
Pretty cool,
remains.
huh? Anyway, if you're enjoying this video, I'd appreciate it if you'd hit that thumbs up. YouTube will spread it out to more and more people. And I'd love to have you subscribe and join the family. In any case, I'm just glad you're here, regardless. Let's take a look at what Joe Rogan has to say.
Aware of the Boneyard in Alaska?
I've heard of it, and it sounds fascinating.
This guy's a gold miner, and he has this large piece of land in Alaska. They're mining for gold, and they start finding like tusks and bones. In one area that's only a few acres, they found thousands of woolly mammoth bones and tusks. They found all these many animals that weren't even supposed to exist in Alaska. One of the things they found recently was bones that were sawed, clearly sawed.
Can you imagine walking on the earth at that time with these monstrous things walking around? No thanks. I'd glad to be looking at it in pictures, if you know what I mean. Let's see, what do we got next? Let's check out the giant door.
No, this story is crazy. Explorers found a giant door in the mountains of Kazakhstan. Check this out. Crazy, right? You guys think that's real? Well, I ran it through a program saying it's not AI, so it looks like an authentic video. But is that real evidence of giants? What do you guys think?
You know, for hundreds of years, we have looked at these very cool-looking flat-top mountains, hills and mountains, I think mainly out west. Maybe in other parts of the world, I'm not 100% sure. I haven't seen those pictures. But I recognize these pictures from, you know, the desert, again, places out west. But for hundreds of years, we've looked at these mesas, these short mountain square-top mesas, as mountains, very cool to look at. And you know, back to the book of Enoch, God sent angels down at the time of the flood to cut off all these huge trees so that the giants could not climb up the trees. Now we've got videos, you know, kind of dissecting this. Maybe those mountains are actually, what, petrified wood? Maybe they're trees. I don't know. See what you think. Take a look.
The tops of these massive ancient tree stumps reveal another secret. The waterfalls protruding from the tops of these tree stumps. And as the book of Enoch describes, the angels came down to chop down the mighty trees, to flood the earth. I believe it was waters from above and waters from below. These massive tree stumps' roots were tapped into the primary water source below. And much like this much smaller tree, today, when a tree's roots go deep enough, tap into the waters, and the base of the tree gets destroyed or chopped down, it can flood with a waterfall the areas around it. Now imagine that thousands of times bigger. It would reshape the lands below. And when the gushing waters tapered off, you have the waterfalls that still come out of those ancient tree stumps today. Remnants of a great flood, of a much larger past. Question everything, friends.
Pretty cool, right? Let's take a look at some very tall people. Hopefully they played basketball back then. Anyway, here's some old photos. Check it out. Right? Okay. Now we can't forget the structures, right? Big doorways, big structures that have been built. Who built them and why? Let's check out this video right here.
There's no way that anyone can convince me that the Nephilim are not real. Just look at these massive doorways, that latch, all the way up at the top there. Who was that built for? We have this little tiny latch for these little tiny people that we are now. Who was this built for? Some of these massive doorways, they had to make new doorways for us. But originally, who was this built for? You know, the more you dive into the research, the more obvious that it becomes that we've been lied to and the Nephilim are real. This picture is not AI, guys. This is a very old picture of a giant. Just like this picture right here, and even this one right here, which is very interesting. Look at his face. Who were these people? You know, the book of Enoch speaks about the fallen angels coming down and having so much lust over our women, and they started mating with them and creating the Nephilim. Would really explain the giant steps in Peru as well. I mean, look at the people versus these steps. I mean, who built these? Who were these built for, right? And then, I mean, we see these beautiful, colossal, massive cathedrals all over the world. And you have to wonder, you know, did giants build these? Because we can't build these. But look at the detail on all this. Like, the old world was so intelligent. They knew about the secrets of the universe. And the Nephilim 100% roamed this earth at one point.
All right, that's it for me, guys. I'm tuning out. Thanks if you stuck around all the way to the end. I appreciate it. And I'd appreciate it if you hit that thumbs up because YouTube will share it to more and more people. That's the way their algorithm works. And if you subscribe, it definitely help out the channel. And even if you don't, I appreciate you sticking around and listening. That's it. I'm out. Peace.